My first visitation from the realm of the spirit in summer 1985, many years ago, was just so subtle and so sweet at a time in which I felt really broken. I was visiting back in Israel in my mother's house, and there was various family issues that cropped up, and I felt very burdened. My father was in hospital with a heart attack. My sister has just had a quarrel with a woman who chucked hot water on her chest, involving the police. My brother just lost his job. There were various issues. And I felt such a burden. I felt so burdened. The very night in which the Spirit visited me was a night where I just couldn't sleep. I just came back from a walk with my mother, trying to encourage her and comfort her and support her. That's something I always did as the eldest in the family. I was visiting from England after not having lived in Israel for about 9 years. I gave Mom a massage on the living room settee, and I really remember how she was upset because I dropped a few drops of oil on the settee, and that was my mom, the perfectionist. She worried about the drop of oil almost more than she worried about her various burdens. But she said good night, and then I was left to sleep on the sofa because there was never a spare room for me whenever I visited. I was lying on the sofa and felt so burdened. I was choked. I felt I might actually end up giving up my breath. It was so heavy, all the way up my chest and onto my throat. Feeling so burdened. I didn't even realize, I didn't even think, why was I so burdened? Some of these problems are normal life problems. But that's how I felt. And for a split moment, as I was lying there, a luminous cross, very thick and very luminous, just came hovering over the length of my body for a split second. There was nothing dramatic about it. It was very gentle and very subtle. It came and then it left. And I remember thinking, oh, I wonder what this was about. And then I fell asleep. The following morning, I went and sat behind my mum's house. There was a stream, there still is a stream, bubbling on, very small stream, and on the other side of it there was a bench. And I sat on the bench. Because there was little privacy, I could never actually cry or anything to release my burdens. But on that morning, after the appearance of the cross, I was able to weep. And I remember thinking, gosh, what was I doing? What was I thinking, taking the whole of that family burden on me? That was a very clear thought. Now, years ahead, in hindsight, I'm already aware that even at the time, that subtle visitation was so intimate, because in fact, the Lord was already teaching me the principle of how He came to lift the burdens, to lift our burdens. The cross came, lifted my burden, I was able to fall asleep, and the following morning I was able to discern through my own thinking that was not my burden to carry. I was able to weep, and of course weeping is one of the ways in which you can really get rid of burdens. Thereafter, there was a lot of weeping going on for months on end. But this was the very first touch, and I'm always amazed how the intimacy that I'm talking about is a very real human experience on the one hand, but that there's the element of the visitation from the spirit realms, and how the two meet is amazing. That's how we can actually connect, even though most of the time these days the feeling of intimacy with the giver of life is far more at the human level, in the heart. I never cease to be amazed that I have been visited so many ways by the Spirit with various signs. But what I cherish above all else is not the signs, though they are amazing, but the actual close heart fellowship, which these days, when I feel there's so much dryness around me, is so much harder to accomplish. And I know we live at a time in which that kind of flow is harder to achieve. I don't know, that might not be everybody's experience, but wherever I meet people, I notice, as I listen to them, that they don't find it very easy, people who already believe, to feel close to God. But my encouragement today is that if we seek with sincerity, then we will find it. Anyway, that's a very, very small little bit of my story about the visitation from the supernatural. There are many more such stories which I will share as time goes by. A beautiful sunny day in Bracknell. Wishing everybody a lovely day.